any services, any amount of resources that our district deserves and needs. And one of the things I think that's really important, let's take housing for example, right? So we're talking about things that have to be done on a national level. We're talking about this housing crisis. Yes, it's not just all about supply and demand, it's also the rent is too damn high, right? And so we have to take care of that on a national level. But also know, folks, the reason why we need more housing, we're not getting it, is not because of codes and ordinances. I know that seems to be the new hotness. No, it is a funding. It's because we don't have a permanent source for social housing. And you know why that happened? It actually came from the Clinton administration. It's called the Faircloth Amendment, which is when we get in there, we're gonna make sure we repeal that. Because it essentially just pushed the buck to private developers, which is what we are seeing now. And so when we get these earmarks, some people call it pork, we gotta eat. So you know what? When we do have those things, we need somebody at a federal level who's going to make sure that they are earmarked and they go to where they're supposed to go. I don't want to send money to Kansas City to not have it go to the Housing Trust Fund, instead to have it go somewhere in Port KC so they can hand out to a bunch of developers, or give out a bunch of millionaire bailouts for a downtown plaything for a bunch of billionaires. So it has to be a multiple front approach, yes, but like you have to have a singular North Star, which is making our folks materially better. And if what we're going to get is going to make our district materially better, then like this is a no-brainer.
You're up next.
Thank you, Justice. I appreciate your question as well. So when we're talking about earmarks, or as Mr. Gray described them, it's called pork. Not all of it's bad though. Some of it's what we use for bridges. Some of it's what we use for highways. Some of it's what we use for rural development. Some of it's used for power production in economic environments where it's hard to get infusions of cash. So not all earmarks are bad. What's important is competence in the seat. When we have somebody like Mark Alford who operates as a sycophant, Mark Alford doesn't care. He doesn't read the documents that are presented to him. So to your point, yes, we need to have oversight. We need to have somebody there who can understand what the earmark actually aims to achieve. And if it's not results-based and it's just some kind of backdoor deal to pad someone's pocket, then those earmarks need to be challenged and stopped. We need a reporting process also so they don't keep showing back up in our Congress. Now, when it comes to spending bills, every spending bill attached to local aid packages, I think it has to be a both-and solution. We can't leave local governments just to handle infrastructure development or development in certain sectors within the community to themselves. However, I don't believe in a big badass federal government. I don't like federalism, and we're living under that right now. So for me, I feel as though we need to empower our local leaders, empower our state leaders to then be responsible stewards of that money when they receive it. And again, backing it up with an audit agency, make sure that those dollars are sent to the recipients who needed that money and funding. I've been doing this now for about 15 months running this race. I put over 34,000 miles on my vehicle to do this, to get to this point. But in reality, guys, it took me 39 years to get to this place. So when I see earmarks helping pad fat pockets of millionaires and billionaires, I remember that I grew up with a single mom. And she was shamed for using brown paper dollars to buy us food. And purple ones, and sometimes blue, and sometimes red. When I see families, single moms like that, getting shamed at the grocery store, and kids like me who don't get to eat that night, I look back then at these earmarks, and I have to wonder, who was there to say no? Who was there to protect your kids? Who was there to make sure that your mom had the health care she needed before she passed? That's what's important.
So let me ask you, what do you think of earmarks?
I mean, there are pros and cons. A big spending bill will get more people to vote for it, but then you can throw a bunch of things into it and people are like, I guess it's.
Yeah.
And when there are individual bills, it's like, we know exactly what this is, so there's more oversight. So it's up to you all. I mean, it's.
No, it's actually not up to us. And this is why this is so important, these kind of meetings, is because I love hearing from you guys about what's important to you, what kind of things you need to change, that we could change in office. And I think a big part of that, as far as earmarks or the massive bills like that, we got to be careful that we attribute those things to individuals and not corporations. There are a lot of earmarks that come through that apply to both. And I can give you a great example. The day after they announced the ballpark was moving downtown, that area around Crown Center shot up in value like crazy.
Yeah.
And guess who bought up the land there?
Yeah.
Corporations.
Yeah.
So I think you gotta be careful in every situation like that. I mean, I'm for absolute accountability and responsibility in government, but I think we gotta know if there's any earmark that's gonna benefit District 4, and you can tell me exactly how, I'm all for it.